discords of sorrow, pain, and wrong. Francis E. W. Harper, Songs for the People. 1. 21st October, 2489, Indonesia. So, how do we pack in the music? Charles asked. The master organist stared at him. For a gifted mathematician, he thought, this young man is a disaster. Aside from mathematics, Charles, what else do they teach 16-year-olds at academy? Mostly all math from age 10, Charles thought to add, depending on how exceptional we may be. Johann Sebastian Bach blinked and blew his nose into his hand. Charles rolled his chair back sharply. They were ensconced in a 5-square-meter soundproof room, busy at their keyboards. Charles's face reddened as Bach wiped his smeared hand underneath the desk where they were seated. Terrible, Bach said. You pay close attention to me and what I do here. He tapped on the keyboard and entered the standard musical scale in letters. We have a lot of time to make up, and your teachers should be whipped. When Bach found the corresponding musical scales in Mathe-Lingua-Musica, he transposed the latest mathematics. What do we do about sharps, flats, and naturals? Charles asked. Thank God you asked. Perhaps there's a flicker of hope in you yet. 2 days later, Bach and Charles presented their newest update to the World Council of Mathematicians. The 7 WCM members sat around an oval table, while Charles and Bach sat beside each other among them. To Charles's surprise, and Bach's frustration, the 5 men and 2 women, the finest mathematical minds on the planet, scratched their heads and were lost. What do you mean by atonals? One of the men said. Imbeciles. Give me asses and they would understand better, Bach said. What is wrong with you, sir? Restrain yourself, Mr. Bach, or you will be sent back to your aerotime by the end of the day. Juanita Popov, chair of the council, said. Bach stuck his pinky into his ear and wiggled his eye trans, which looked like a miniature hearing aid tucked in his ear. Charles whispered to Bach, Go back and begin with our premise. Bach blew his nose into both hands. Charles knew what Bach might do next and offered the master his handkerchief. Bach looked puzzled as he accepted the wrinkled cloth. Right, Bach said. I ask the council, what is considered to be the universal truth in our universe? Mathematics, all answered as one. Correct. 2 + 2 = 4. 3 squared = 9, etc., at least in our universe. With a snort, he paused. And what is considered to be the universal language in our universe? Juanita Popov, for the first time, smiled at Master Bach. One universal language is music, the other is mathematics. Ah, I would add that music is our only universal language. The great composer-organist angled his head. But it helps to know what's behind the music. As it is, everyone can have their own understanding and immediate interpretation. Music doesn't require the listener to learn theory, grammar, or equations. Music is ready for everyone. Charles noted a settling down and a sigh or two. Master Bach bowed his head. As I understand it, I have been resurrected to help you find the optimum language for our species. Not just any language or a hodgepodge of tongues, but the one language that best befits humans. I will do my utmost, but you must always accept our mutual premise. This optimum language must contain both mathematics and music, in addition to linguistics. Sharps, flats, and naturals aside, a cosmologist said, how do we speak mathematics? And haven't we always had opera as music with language? This man was recognized as a champion in all math genres, theoretical and applied. Bach deferred to Charles, who gave Bach a piece of gum, one new luxury the musician and composer looked forward to in the afternoons. In the late 21st century.